Here I come to save the day. Y'all know what it is. I'm King Sam, the people's champ. And this Let's Get To It, and that's a tour with a you because I always got you in mind. So keep that in mind. Y'all see the title. I don't want to debate. I don't want to debate with you. If we having a discussion, that's one thing. But a lot of times people don't want to have a discussion. Like when I'm conversating or I'm having a discussion or I'm talking to somebody, I want to learn something. I want to teach something. I want to communicate something. I ain't trying to go back and forth. I ain't trying to butt heads with you. I ain't even trying to seem smarter than you. I don't want no parts of that. And I think a lot of times that's what people be on. Let me get these shots out. Sunrise, kitchen, bath, and closets. Got one right here on our side on Mercury Boulevard. There's one in Virginia Beach and one in Chesapeake, y'all. They do a lot of remodeling. You know, if you're trying to upgrade, add something to your home, you know they making the process of remodeling simple. Give a shout out to Mario Bunton, Bunton Boulevards on the stoop. Give a shout out to C. Terrell Scott, you know, yapping, making it happen. Give a shout out to Teresa. You know, she do the books online and all that stuff. Give a shout out to Elise Pro Barbershop. Give a shout out to 7 Series. Give a shout out to Parallel. There's a lot of others I want to give a shout out to. They're not coming to mind right now, but those are just some at the top of my head. But like I was saying, man, I don't be trying to debate with people. You know, a lot of times I don't even want to talk because it seems like you open up the door to a lot of disrespect, misunderstanding, people raising their voice at you, people lying to your face. People know what they saying, that they ain't standing on much or nothing, but they'll continue to argue with it because they feel like you making them look bad. Like earlier today, I was having a discussion with somebody, and they were saying something. Maybe it's me being too judgmental. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe I'm gonna go ahead and say maybe I was being judgmental. I don't know. But like sometimes when people say erroneous things, you know, I'm there. I try to correct it on the point because I to me, if you allow somebody to run with a narrative or run with a way of thinking, it could spread to somebody else. And if it's wrong and I don't agree with it, I say I don't agree. And I think sometimes people, especially when there's somebody standing around, they take that as offensive, like you insulted them. But you just told me 2 plus 2 equals 1. Not 2 times 2, but 2 plus 2 equal 1. I said, nah, that ain't right and exact. Oh, what you mean? This, that. Like this morning, I'm speaking to somebody. I said, you reaching with that one. Oh, no, you being presumptuous and da. And we ain't gonna talk. So I was fine with that statement right there. Like, okay, I don't, this doesn't fulfill anything in my life to have a discussion with you. So I ain't gotta talk. We could just say hi and bow. We ain't even gotta do that. I do that as a courtesy. I they call it being courteous. I try to speak and be cordial, but I don't have to do that. I can keep it pushing. I've been in places to where I walk right past you and let the tension be so thick you could cut it with a knife. So I don't have to speak. I really don't want to speak, but I entertain the presence of having people around and being in the community or sometimes, interacting with others. So it was like after that whole exchange, the person was basically telling me off, and I'm like, man, I don't want to argue with you. I don't want to debate with you. I'm just telling you that what you said was erroneous and it was wrong. And there's other ways to look at it. Like maybe, maybe you right. You can have that. You right. And after that whole thing was over, they kept talking to me, and I was trying to ignore them and keep it pushing, but they sparked the conversation, and on my way out, they was like, "Man, I look forward to the next debate." And I'm like, "Huh?" I just started laughing. I'm like, "Yo, oh man, maybe I missed something, man. I missed something because like I don't even want to have them type of discussions with you no more because I feel like you know at some point your rhetoric becomes disrespectful. And it's like, I'm not gaining nothing by talking to you. You're not enlightening me. You don't even want to acknowledge the truth when somebody tell you that you're wrong. And once you know eternally that you're wrong, you don't even want to accept that. You want to keep going off the deep end and doubling down. And the reason I'm bringing that up is because that's why I think a lot of people at right now today. A lot of people want to debate with you. They think a conversation is a competition, and it's not. It's not. Like when you communicate, it's supposed to be something expressed. Information supposed to be passed. And hopefully it's not misinformation. It's not a lie. It's not a falsehood. It's not a false narrative. It's not fake news. But a lot of times when people communicate, they think it's a zero-sum game, like somebody got to walk away with the title of being the best or the most knowledgeable. And I never approach a conversation like that. It's either this or that. If it's not true, then it's not true. And before we go on any further with this conversation, we need to establish that that's not true. Other than that, the conversation is over. I'm not going to let you stumble over a lie or two and we keep it pushing like you just didn't lie. I'd rather just stop the conversation and we just not finish. Leave it right there where it was, stick a pin in it. And when you want to come back to that, before we go on to the next topic, let's establish that what we're talking about is rooted in reality. That is a truth. That is an honest, genuine thought. That, you ain't just swinging, trying to hit a home run with every word or sentence you say. But, people wild out here, man. And, like I think I was speaking about Anton Daniels and Corey Holcomb the other day. They had got into it. Both had two differences of opinion. And they got up under each other's skin. And they was about to come to blows. That's what you get when you debate with people. You get the button heads. Because you're coming up there with a viewpoint that you're trying to push across. You feel like your viewpoint is the end all be all. A lot of people might have, come up or made a living or their beliefs and ideals define who they are. And when you challenge those ideals, whether what you're saying is true or not, people they ready to down that hill. They ready to stop everything and, they ready to turn over the whole apple cart. And to me, I'd rather not even debate. If I can't have a discussion with you and I can't glean something good from your conversation, I'd rather not talk. I'd rather not talk. And, I pray for discernment. Because a lot of times you'll be going back and forth or in your travels and your journeys of life, when you at work or you out and about, you'll be around people that, there's no telling what their agendas is. There's no telling what's on their mind, how they feel about you. And I pray for discernment. I pray that I understand that person's mindset or that person's intention or agenda early. That way either I could get out their way and try to avoid them if we ain't like minded, or not even like minded, if we can't be respectful and we can't communicate truthfully to each other in honesty. Like, what are we doing? I pray that I have discernment so I could avoid situations that could turn the corner and be something else that I didn't even plan it to be. Because some people, they spend their whole day trying to set you up with a gotcha moment. I knew, yeah, y'all think he's smart. Nah, he ain't. Like, they wake up and dream, like, daydream, and they 24 hours instead of working and doing what they supposed to be doing, they sitting on you. They thinking about you. And it's like, man, get you some business, man. Get you some business. Find you something to do that's gonna be productive. But these days, people peddling in confrontation. They peddling in controversy and beef and arguments, sensationalism. People want to be, that's how they define, making it, by shining on you or trying to embarrass you and, proving to the world that, look what I just did right here, y'all. And it's like, that don't even last long. That's like, what they call it, 15 minutes of fame. But people live and die by that, People desperate out here for some attention. It's currency these days. So, I don't know if y'all feel like me, but, man, I don't want to debate with you, man. I just want to have a decent discussion. Let's talk. But we ain't got to be going back and forth and sparring. Especially if what one of us is saying is not true. Like, if I'm talking to somebody and I'm in error, and you correct me, man, I ain't even know that. You sure? Man, good looking, bro. I ain't even know that. That's the type of person I am. Once you pull my coattail, you shed light on the subject, and I look back and I think, I said, okay, I ain't even look at it like that. Now, okay, now I done added on to my life. Ain't nothing wrong with being wrong. Ain't nothing wrong with being wrong in that moment when you discover the truth. Like, it doesn't make you less of a person. You actually just learned something, you add it on. Now you got that and you could grow. That's what discussion is for to me. That's what communicating with others is adding on so you can move forward. And with that, I'm about to tap out, y'all. I don't want to debate with you. I barely want to talk to you. So, if we got to be going back and forth, count me out. And with that, I'm out of here, man. Just let's get to it. And that's a tour with you, because I always got you in mind. So keep that in mind. And I am King Sam, the people's champ. The people's champ, man. I'm always rooting for the underdog. One.